Welcome to lesson 2, understanding the basics of monitoring and evaluation. In this lesson, we'll cover the meaning of monitoring and evaluation, key components of monitoring and evaluation, benefits and importance of monitoring and evaluation. Now let's jump into it. Monitoring and evaluation (M&E) is a crucial process used in various sectors, including development programs, projects, and organizations. The purpose of M&E is to assess progress, track performance, and determine the impact of interventions. There are several projects and programs being implemented by development organizations, NGOs, private sector businesses, and even the government. And to ensure that these projects and programs are making progress and track and they are performing and achieving desirable results, there must be monitoring and evaluation. Without monitoring and evaluation, we will know whether we are making progress, whether we are performing, or we are making impact. We will not be able to communicate the changes that our projects or programs are making. So, in order to guarantee or to ensure that we are making impact, we are investing our resources and achieving the results equivalent to that resource, or even more, we need to monitor and evaluate. Monitoring and evaluation (M&E) is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing data, information. And this is to provide evidence-based information for decision making. With monitoring and evaluation (M&E), we can collect evidence-based information that will enable us to make informed decisions about our project, about our programs, about policies. We are also able to account for resources. We can learn and improve our project and program in the future. Now, let's explore to know what is monitoring. Monitoring refers to the ongoing, or you can say regular or routine collection of data to track the implementation of activities and progress towards achievements of objectives and targets. So, monitoring takes place during project implementation, project execution. As you are aware, project management involves the 5 unique life cycle, which includes project initiation, project planning, project execution or implementation, project monitoring and controlling, project closure. During the implementation or execution phase of the project management lifecycle, we need to monitor throughout that process. When we are monitoring, it means that we are regularly collecting information, data, on the different activities we are implementing on the project. So, monitoring is a critical aspect of every project implementation. Without monitoring, we will not know how far the project is. We will not gather information that will inform us about the progress of the project and the activities that we are to do and what we are actually doing on ground. So, monitoring involves measuring the project inputs. Project inputs are the resources that we invested into the project. Those resources can be people, materials, equipment. We need to monitor to see how we are using resources, whether we are achieving the desired results out of the resources that we have invested. Also, outputs. Outputs are the tangible or intangible results from the project. They could be services that we render, like training. It could be construction. It could be products that we deliver at the end, like hemp pump, for example. It could be building that whatever we produce out of the different activities on the project are what we call outputs. These are outputs that we produce. They are the direct results of the different project activities. And then we have outcomes. Outcomes are the changes that the project contributes or the project achieves at the end of the outputs, which come from the outputs. Take, for instance, you constructed a hemp pump, and the hemp pump is the output. What is the benefit of that hemp pump to the community? That is the outcome. The benefit will be the community has access to safe drinking water by using the hand pump that you've constructed. While the hand pump is the product and service you have provided, the outcome it will be the access to that safe drinking water through that hand pump you have actually constructed. So outcomes very important in project because we need to look at the benefit that our project product services giving back to the environment or the project community. So all these must be monitored during project implementation. Monitoring also helps us to identify gaps. So when we are implementing a program or project, there will be gaps. And when we monitor, we identify these gaps. We identify challenges. We identify areas requiring corrective measure or action that we need to improve the situation. And there might be sometimes that we need to adjust or sometimes change the program or project plan and our strategies based on the gaps, challenges that we have actually identified. With the absence of monitoring, we will not be able to know what is working and what is not working. We will not be able to see the challenges or gaps that exist within our project. But with robust and effective monitoring, we are able to see what's happening. We are able to see the impact. We are able to see the changes. We are also able to see the challenges and gaps that exist, and we are able to take action to correct these issues that we have identified. All right, so let's talk about evaluation. Evaluation, on the other hand, focuses on assessing the effectiveness, efficiency, relevance, and sustainability of interventions. We said monitoring is regular, is routine data collection to track progress on the implementation of the project activities. But evaluation is assessing to know how effective the program was, how efficient, how relevant and sustainable is the intervention. So effectiveness looks at how well did we do it, okay? How to what extent did we achieve the program results? And then efficiency looks at the utilization of resources. How well did we use resources to achieve the desired results, which are the outputs of the program? And then the relevance looks at how important is this intervention to the community. Does this program align with what the community needs? Does it align with what the country needs? How does it support development priorities? How relevant is this? How important is it? And then sustainability looks at how sustainable is this program after its implementation? How can this program impact continue after the project has ended? That's sustainability. These are the four unique areas to look at when it comes to evaluation of a program or project. Evaluation involves a more in-depth analysis of the outcomes and impact achieved. So during evaluation, we go deeper into analysis to understand the impact, the achievements of the program or the project. Unlike monitoring is more like trying to identify gaps, challenges, and improve the project while it is still ongoing. But evaluation is done either periodic or at the end of the project or program, and to see what we have achieved against what we intended to achieve when we were designing this project. So during the project design phase or planning phase, we already agree on the project objectives, the project results, and we already agree on the criteria for success, which is clear in the project document, and the stakeholders have approved it. And that's why the project was given approval for implementation. Doing monitoring, we gather data to see how far the program is and also be able to correct some things and improve the program implementation. Doing evaluation, we are able to see what we have achieved against what we intended to achieve. This will inform us as to whether the program was successful and to what extent the program achieved its objectives. Evaluations are usually conducted periodically or at the end of a program or project. And the purpose of evaluation is to inform decision making. When we evaluate a project, we can make informed decision about what to do next, about the improvement of the next intervention. We are also able to provide accountability for resources and for the project. We can facilitate learning. Learning is very important in monitoring and evaluation. When we evaluate our project, we can learn. We learn new things. We learn how to improve on our future interventions. Take for instance, we evaluated the project and we realized that as part of the project effectiveness, the communication aspect was not to that effective as it should be. And so, how do we improve communication in the next project? We are able to learn. Maybe we didn't plan well. Maybe we didn't initiate the project well. There were a lot of things that we realized that we didn't put in place that should have been done properly to ensure the maximum success of the project. That is to learn from that process and improve on future projects. Now, let's look at key components of monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation, comes from start point to end point. There must be a key steps that you need to follow to ensure that effective monitoring and evaluation is done at every step of the way. Number one, before we monitor and evaluate, number one component we need to look at is the goal, objective, and the indicators. We can evaluate or monitor any project without a goal, objective, and indicator. A question that you will need to answer will be, what are you monitoring and what are you evaluating? We evaluate goals, objectives, and indicators that we set. This must be done at the beginning of the project. So we need to be clear about what the project wants to achieve. What is our overall desire for this project? What is the intended result for this project? The goal is the overarching result, is the vision, is the overall impact that the project will make at the end. It's either to improve, it's either to transform, it's either to improve livelihoods, it's either to transform society or to sustain impact. The objective looks at what we will achieve at the end of the project. This could either be increasing, it could either be improving access, it could either be creating a transformation that will create a livelihood and also empower people with skills, knowledge, and other aspects that we need to look at that will inform our program implementation. Objectives are a specific aspect of the project that will be achieved to contribute to the overall achievement of the project. Indicators are specific things or variables that we are measuring to know whether we are making progress or success. This could be looking at the number of trainings, the number of visitation, the number of meetings we held, the number of participation, the increased participation, the transformation level, the performance level. And so we will be looking at different aspects of the project to see how far we've gone and to what extent we've succeeded. Indicators should be smart. It should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This is to ensure effective monitoring and evaluation. Once we have set the goals, objectives, and indicators, the next step is data collection. Data collection methods and tools are selected and implemented to capture relevant data. We need to capture relevant data during monitoring. During the program implementation, we collect data regularly and to see how far we've gone, the progress we've made, and identify gaps and improve on the program implementation. During evaluation, we collect data on the program effectiveness, efficiency, relevance, and sustainability, and to what extent we have achieved the program desired results against what we've intended in the program at the initial stage. So data collection is extremely important. There are two aspects of data collection. One, data collection methods and data collection tools. Data collection methods are the unique methodologies that we use to collect data. This could be surveys, this could be interviews, observations, document reviews, and qualitative and quantitative data sources. So surveys could be conducted either using online, phone calls, or face-to-face. You could also do interview with key stakeholders, including government officials, community leaders, and different stakeholders that you will do mapping or identify during your data collection planning. Then you have observations. Observation can be constructed either structured or unstructured observation, where you have questionnaires that you are looking at and you are picking up based on your observation. As you observe, you capture or collect the information. Then we have document review. Document review is an important data collection method which will help us review existing program documents, reports, and other development data that already exist. This could either be qualitative or quantitative data sources that we can use to be able to assess what is already available. We can also use focus groups. Focus group discussions could be where you bring 10 to 12 or 15 persons in the room where you interview them in a focus group discussion. And it could be structured or unstructured. Structured would be where you have questionnaires that you have, and then unstructured would be where, based on the conversation, you are asking questions randomly. So these are some of the methods used in data collection. Then there are other tools you can use, softwares to collect data. There are a lot of softwares online, the Google Form, Survey CTO, and you have, Survey Monkey, and several other software that have been built to enable you collect data easily and effectively. Data should be collected consistently and systematically to ensure reliability and accuracy. During data collection, we should make sure that we are consistently collecting the data to be sure that this information we are collecting is reliable and accurate. Number three, data analysis. It will make no sense if we collect data and do not make analysis to the data. We need to analyze the data to identify key trends, key patterns, and moreover, insights. Data analysis will enable us know what we are able to make sense of the data. So this could be either using statistical techniques, it could be qualitative coding or analytical methods, or you could use software like SPSS, Stata, and other software available to analyze your data. This will give you real-time insight on the data that you have collected, and you are able to make sense of the data and interpret that data for reporting. Doing data analysis, we are able to draw conclusions because we can see the trends, we can see the insight from our data. Just as you can see the image on the stream, you can see the different graphs and charts, and then it's being discussed in the form of data analysis. When we see this, we are able to look at the trends. We can see the percentage of people who participated. We can see the percentage of people who are undergraduate, who are college students, based on what we are looking for. We can see the percentage of people who are living below the poverty line and all that. So it gives us insight about the situation, and we can draw conclusion on the particular data. And then we can also identify findings. What are the key findings we see from the data? And then we can generate recommendations. Recommendations are the proposed actions that need to be taken in order to improve on the solution based on the data we have collected. Number four, once we have analyzed the data, we need to report and communicate the data. The findings from the data or the results from the data must be communicated to different stakeholders. Stakeholders could be project managers, donors, policymakers, and the program beneficiaries. Reports should be clear. It should be concise and accessible, presenting information in a way that supports decision making and understanding. Reporting is extremely important because if we analyze the data and do not report, how will the data be used? How will the data help improve the program if we do not report and communicate the information or the findings within our reports? So the reporting and communication plays a critical role in ensuring that action will be taken on what we have done. Number five, learning and utilization. M&E component of learning and utilization is extremely critical. Monitoring and evaluation M&E processes aim to foster a culture of learning and utilization of findings. When we make the report and communicate the findings, we are able to learning from what we did well, learning from what we didn't do well. We can learn valuable lessons from the monitoring and evaluation activities that could be applied to improve program design, program implementation, and the outcomes. If we do all the M&E reporting and communication and we do not learn from that process, and if we do not use the findings or the recommendations there to improve our program, then there's no reason for monitoring and evaluation. But monitoring and evaluation is essential to ensure that we learn and utilize the knowledge from the report to improve our program or intervention. This iterative process contributes to what we call evidence-based decision-making and program effectiveness. When we do monitoring evaluation, develop report and communicate, we learn and utilize the report to improve our program. And it helps us make informed decision, evidence-based decision, and program effectiveness. So monitoring evaluation is extremely critical for every program and project. These are the five unique components of M&E. Now, let's talk about the benefits of and importance of monitoring and evaluation. Number one, accountability. Monitoring and evaluation is important because it helps us to be accountable to stakeholders. Stakeholder includes funders, beneficiaries, and the wider community. M&E helps track progress, determine if interventions are meeting the needed or the intended objectives, and identify areas for improvement. So with M&E, we can account for fundings, we can account for what is in the program, the promises we made to beneficiaries, the promises we made to the funders, the promises we made to the community. We are able to be accountable for it in M&E. So M&E will also help us know the identify areas for improvement that we can be accountable for. That's one. Number two, learning and adaptation. With M&E, organizations can learn from their experiences and make informed decisions. When we conduct monitoring and evaluation, we are able to learn from our experiences, see what we did well and what we didn't do well. Then we can improve on future projects or programs. In the case of monitoring, we are able to adapt or change the program and adjust the plan to improve our intervention. This is because we have evidence and feedback from it. Take, for instance, collecting feedback from the participant. Let's say you are conducting a training and you collect feedback from the participant at the middle of the training to see what's going well, the training delivery, and the methodology, and the level of understanding of the training content from the participants. Participant feedback will inform you as to whether they are understanding the lesson or not. If you do not do feedback or collect or do some feedback survey, how will you be informed that they are actually understanding the lesson? Other than that, the program will not be effective. You won't be able to know whether they have understood the lesson, whether the training is effective or not. That is the importance of monitoring and evaluation. Number three, evidence-based decision making. Monitoring and evaluation helps generate evidence that can inform decision making at various levels, including the programmatic level, strategic, and policy decisions. With monitoring and evaluation, we can determine what decision to make to improve our program, improve our project, and also improve policy. We can provide data and insight to support resource allocation. It will inform us on where we need to put more resources to achieve the desired outcomes. Also, we can make adjustments to our program plan and improve our future planning for other projects and interventions that will be undertaken. Number four, improved performance. Regular monitoring allows for the identification of bottlenecks. When we regularly monitor our projects and program, we can identify bottlenecks, challenges, and area for underperformance. We can see the bottlenecks, the challenges, and underperformance of our project. Then we are able to plan, design strategies on how to improve the situation. Then we have evaluation that will provide us the opportunity to assess and the intervention or the effectiveness of the program and identify best practices which will enable us to perform or improve our performance and the outcome of the program. Number five, transparency and communication. M&E processes facilitate transparent communication among stakeholders by providing reliable and objective information on progress, achievements, and challenges. M&E is to enable us to be transparent to stakeholders. This means that we don't communicate what we didn't do. Take, for instance, progress. You need to communicate the progress of your project. If you have any challenge or any issues, communicate that within your project so that you don't give stakeholders the mentality or thinking that you are making progress whereas you are not. Achievements, you are also to communicate what the project achieved over the period of time. This must be transparent. Challenges, you also need to communicate the key challenges that you experience during your project and program implementation. This is not to show that you didn't do a good job. This is to show that you were able to monitor everything throughout the way and you are willing to learn and improve. So monitoring and evaluation foster trust and engagement among stakeholders. Stakeholders can trust you because you have provided reliable information to them, even at a point where it didn't go well with you. In conclusion, monitoring and evaluation play a crucial role in assessing the progress, effectiveness, and impact of interventions. By collecting and analyzing data, M&E processes provide valuable insights for decision-making, accountability, and learning, which will ultimately contribute to improved program performance, and outcomes. Thanks for completing this lesson.